Hey guys, I want to have a heart to heart conversation with you today. And the thing I want to talk about is the question of what makes me unique for a college essay. This is something that students ask and think about all the time. What makes me unique in my college essay? And in an attempt to answer this question, most students get online and start reading other people's essays, or they get on social media and they start looking for tips. And there's some sort of comparison contrast that goes on. In the 2 decades that I've been helping people, I have never, ever had a student come up to me and say, "Thank you, Zara, for showing me one of the essays that another student wrote because now I understand how to do it. I'm more clear and I'm more confident." This has never happened to me. And so years ago, I decided not to show my students other people's essays. And then I went a step further and I asked my students not to look at anybody else's essays online either. Because here's the thing, what makes you unique is that you are the only person in the whole world that has lived your life. You're the only person that has processed your life and learned from your life in the way that you have. That is what makes you unique. And if there are amazing essays out there, and there are, those essays are an amazing story about somebody else who lived a different life than you did, processed it differently, and expressed it differently than you ever would. It's not your voice. And one thing that I've learned over time in my life, in the life of other professionals, in the lives of students, is that when we go out there and we start comparing our content and our ideas to other people, it rarely expands us. It usually shrinks us. It causes us to feel like we've got to do it someone else's way. We've got to present the way they do. We've got to be less us. There's something wrong with us. That person did it. I'm not like them. What's going to happen? It's not an expansive way to think. It's not a creative way to think. It's self-sabotage. So I tell my students, when it comes to that main essay, don't look at anyone around you. The unique is you. That's you. You don't need to look anywhere else in the world to find that. And the universities you apply to don't even want you to. They don't want you to. People do it, the schools don't want it. They want you. And if you think that you can't produce something phenomenal, I want to tell you, it is harder to be a top 1% artist in the movie industry, in the music industry, the top 1% in athletics, than it is to get into any school, and yet people do it all the time. People are up and coming and become stars in every area. It's always there. The opportunity to rise is always there. You have the opportunity to stand out as you. You don't have to become anybody else to do that. You've got to be able to convey you in a vivid way that is compelling. One of the best examples I can think of in this arena is Adele. Think of Adele. Millions and millions of people love Adele. How many of her fans can genuinely identify with her lyrics? Many of them can. A lot of them cannot. A lot of people who love Adele's music cannot identify with her experiences. What happened to her in her relationships didn't happen in the relationships of many of her fans. And yet, when people who love her listen to her music, it's as if they're living out her experience because it's that vivid and that compelling. Do you think she writes her songs thinking, I want to create the next big single hit? Do you think that's her mindset? Do you think that's what any artist is really thinking as they're producing their masterpiece? Or are they expressing themselves in the most genuine and intense way? Your personal statement is not a science. It is an art. Art shows up in infinite ways. I have seen incredible paintings using paintbrushes. I have seen incredible paintings where the artist used sponges. I have seen amazing art where artists used their fingers. I have seen amazing art where artists used butter knives. It's endless, and yet it's art. There's not one path that you have to take to be unique. Do you, and do it really, really well. You don't have to look for other people to get the essence of who you are down. Start here. Who am I? What are my experiences? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? Are there certain traits I have that I can write about? Are there certain experiences I've had that I have learned from? How can I convey this so that my reader can feel it? Not just get it, but feel it. That is the heart of unique. You already have it. I hope this was useful, and I really hope you'll keep this in mind as you go through the application process. There's so much information out there, so many perspectives, and it's really easy to get distracted or blinded or stressed out by what other people have to say about their path, but your journey is yours. And I wish you the very, very best of luck with it. Thank you so much for your time and your trust.